If the VA sent you a proposed reduction letter, stop. Do not panic, but do not ignore it either. A lot of veterans open that letter and immediately assume the fight is already over. They think the VA already decided. They think the rating is gone. So they freeze. They get angry. They put the letter in a drawer and tell themselves they will deal with it later. And that is where they lose ground. Not because the reduction was automatic, not because the decision was already final, but because they did not understand what that letter actually was, and they missed the window to respond. A proposed reduction letter is not the final decision. It is a proposal, and you have a right to respond. In this video, I am going to break down what that letter means, what deadlines you need to understand, what evidence can help protect your rating, and what your response plan should look like before that window closes. This is video 2 in the VA Rating Protection Briefing series. In video 1, we covered the 3 re-examination triggers that can put a rating under review. If you missed that one, watch it first. The link is in the description. This video picks up right where that one left off. The letter arrived. Now what? Here is what I want you to understand by the end of this video. First, what a proposed reduction actually is and what it is not. Second, the 2 separate response windows and why they are not the same thing. Third, what evidence can help protect your rating. And fourth, a simple response plan so you are not scrambling when the deadline is close. This is not legal advice. It is not accredited representation. It is plain English education designed to help you understand what you are looking at and what to do next. What the letter actually means, let's start here. The VA sent you a proposed reduction letter. That word, proposed, matters. It means the VA is considering reducing your rating. It does not mean the decision is done. It does not mean your rating has already changed. It means the VA reviewed something, an exam, a treatment note, a record, and based on that review, they are proposing a lower rating. Before they can finalize that change, they are required to notify you and give you an opportunity to respond. That notification is the letter. That opportunity to respond, that is your window. That window is what this video is about. Now, why does the VA review ratings in the first place? In the last video, we talked about what can trigger a re-examination, a routine future exam scheduled when the rating was assigned, records that suggest improvement, a C&P exam result that came back differently than before. Whatever triggered the review is less important right now than understanding what to do now that the letter is in your hand. Because the proposal stage, right now, may be your best chance to submit evidence before the VA makes the final reduction decision. Not after the final decision, not during an appeal. Now. The 2 clocks, your response windows. When you receive a proposed reduction letter, there are generally 2 separate response windows you need to understand. They are not the same thing, and mixing them up can cost you. The first window is for submitting evidence. Generally speaking, veterans typically have around 60 days from the date of the letter to submit evidence that the proposed reduction is not warranted. That means medical records, treatment notes, a personal statement, a statement from a family member or spouse, private medical opinions, anything that supports the idea that your condition has not actually improved the way the VA is suggesting. The second window is for requesting a predetermination hearing. This is a separate right. Generally speaking, that window is typically shorter, around 30 days. A predetermination hearing is a chance to appear before a VA decision maker before the final decision is issued and explain in person why the proposed reduction is not supported by the full evidence. A timely hearing request may also affect when VA can take final action, which is another reason that shorter deadline matters. Now, here is something important. Requesting a hearing and submitting evidence are 2 separate actions. One does not replace the other. If you want both options, you need to pursue both separately before the deadlines pass. Here is what I need you to understand clearly. The general framework is 60 days for evidence and 30 days for a hearing request. But the letter you received controls the actual deadlines. Read your letter. Find the specific dates. Do not assume. Do not rely on general information alone, including this video. Your letter has the dates. Those are the dates that matter. Mark them. Count them. Do not lose track of them. What evidence can help protect your rating? Now let's talk about what can actually go into your response. The VA proposed a reduction. That proposal is based on something they reviewed, typically an exam result or a treatment note that suggests your condition improved. Your job is not to argue with the VA. Your job is to respond with evidence that shows the full disability picture. What does that mean in practice? Think about current treatment records. If you are still receiving treatment for this condition, still taking medication, still going to appointments, still managing the same symptoms, that is relevant. An active treatment history suggests an active condition. Think about private medical evidence. If you have seen a private physician or specialist separate from VA, that provider's notes and opinions can be part of your response. A private medical opinion that explains your current condition and its continuing severity can be meaningful evidence. Think about a personal statement. In your own words, you can explain what your condition actually looks like day to day. Not on a good day, not on the day of one exam, the full pattern, what the condition prevents you from doing, what flare ups look like, how often bad days occur, how the condition affects sleep, work, daily tasks, and functioning. Think about a buddy statement or spouse statement. Someone who lives with you or spends significant time around you can speak to what they observe, the limitations, the bad days, the functional impact. That is relevant. Think about evidence of flare ups and functional loss. This is one of the most important pieces. A single exam captures one moment. That moment may have been a better than average day, or the examiner may not have asked about what happens with repeated use, or after activity, or during a flare. Evidence that documents what happens beyond that single snapshot can help show that one exam result does not tell the whole story. The protection principle: one snapshot is not the whole story. Here is something I want you to understand clearly, because it matters. The VA should not be reducing a rating based on one incomplete snapshot, not one rushed exam, not one vague treatment note, not one reading that caught you on a better day. If your full treatment record, the full history, does not show real, genuine, sustained improvement in the condition, then one data point should not carry that weight. One good exam result is not the same as a condition that actually got better. One note that says, doing well, does not automatically override years of documented severity. One moment does not replace the whole pattern. That is why your response matters. Your job is to bring the full picture into that record before the final decision is made, not to exaggerate, not to manufacture symptoms that are not there, but to make sure the file is not missing the evidence that shows what your condition actually looks like, consistently, not just on one day. VA should be looking at the full record. Your response helps make sure the full record is there. What not to do. Let me be direct about a few things veterans do that hurt them. The first mistake is doing nothing. Silence is not a strategy. If you receive a proposed reduction letter and you do not respond, you do not submit evidence, you do not request a hearing, you may be giving up the best opportunity you have. The second mistake is waiting to deal with it after the reduction happens. I understand why veterans think that way. They assume they can just appeal later. And while appeal options may exist after a final decision, the proposal stage gives you a chance to prevent the reduction, not just challenge it after the fact. Acting now is better than reacting later. The third mistake is responding with anger instead of evidence. I understand the frustration. A veteran who served, who earned a rating, who has lived with this condition, and then gets a letter saying the VA wants to lower it. That is a gut punch. The frustration is real. But the VA does not process frustration. The VA processes evidence, responding with a clear, organized record of why your condition has not improved the way the VA suggests. That is what moves the needle. Your simple response plan, 48-hour challenge. Here is your practical starting point. You do not have to have everything figured out today, but you do need to take these first steps now. In the next 48 hours, do this. One, now, read the letter completely. Not just the first paragraph, all of it. Find the specific deadlines written in that letter. 2, identify exactly which condition is proposed for reduction and what rating change is being proposed. 3, mark the deadlines on a calendar, both of them. Evidence window, hearing request window. 4, pull together what you already have: current treatment records, medication history, recent appointment notes, anything that documents ongoing treatment or continued severity. 5, write down what your condition actually looks like day to day, not your best day, not one exam day, the full pattern, flare-ups, functional limitations, what the condition prevents you from doing. That is your starting point for a personal statement. Do not delay. The window is running from the date of that letter. Let me bring this together. A proposed reduction letter is not the final decision, but it is not something to ignore. You generally have around 60 days to submit evidence and around 30 days to request a predetermination hearing, but read your letter for the exact dates, because those are the dates that control. Submitting evidence and requesting a hearing are two separate actions. One good exam, one rush note, one snapshot does not make your case, and it should not make the VA's case either. Your job is to respond with evidence that shows the full picture. Do not panic. Do not stay silent. Read the letter. Mark the deadlines. Gather the evidence. Respond. In the next video in this series, we are going to cover the 5-year, 10-year, and 20-year VA rating rules and what kind of protection those timeframes may carry for established ratings. If you have a long-standing rating and you are wondering what that history means for your situation, that video is the one to watch next. If you are staring at a VA letter right now and you are not sure what it is really saying, start with the free VA Letter Translator and the free resources linked in the description. Both are free. Both are designed to help you understand what you are looking at before you take the next step. This is educational and organizational support only. It is not legal advice, medical advice, accredited representation, claims filing, or a guarantee of VA benefits. My goal is never to mislead, only to empower you with accurate, honest, and actionable information. Semper Fidelis, and God bless.